Hey everybody, it's BTC Gambler here. Guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is a continuation video. If you've watched the previous video, yeah, all going well. I've introduced a new version of the code because I had a version of the code that had a bug out there, but I've introduced another bug. There is an issue regarding chat tipping, and it seems to be related to two-factor authentication. So you can end up with scenarios like this, where you get stuck in stage 1 with the recovery pot in it, and so you should never see this figure negative. So the only way I can do with this at the moment is just by resetting it. And obviously one of the things that I had to turn off is the automatic reload, because that was really messing up the numbers as well. Yeah, and when I do the weekly recovery, I also have to stop everything as well, because all those numbers get thrown out again. So I have to keep it like a very tight remit on this. But I have a solution. I want to show you that. So I've got a new version of the code. So this is now version 0.2. And what I've done is in stage 1, I'm checking if you win and the balance is greater than the start balance, which is, as we know in this instance, will be 20 plus 260 times the base bet. That sounds a lot, but it's not. That's like 1 TRX when you do the calculation. You should never see anything above 21, you just should never see that. So this would capture all. So yes, I don't even need to check if the recovery pot's in the balance, and it puts that into the vault. Now, interestingly, because I did a fresh rollout to a number of clients as well, it's picking up the recovery pot, this variable here, from the server config on the client. Now that seems highly inefficient, because that means they're going to have to set that on every single client as well. It's picking up the recovery amount from the server config docs recover amount, and that is probably out, and it's very inefficient anyway. So by putting this line in here, it's going to be like a catch-all, and that will work for weeklies, automatic rate back. So in the current configuration in the index.js, I've had to comment out the automatic rate back. Now I feel that at the moment it's set to 100,000. I'm going to change that to something like 500,000, and then I know it's always going to be above the threshold for it to automatically put it in the vault. I'm going to do a number of things, but I'm just going to fix things initially because I need to roll out a new version of this code here, version 2, to fix this particular issue, and we're going to test it as well. So I'm going to get all this done and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, so I've made some changes. So I've made the changes on GitHub, and I've pushed up I committed to changes to GitHub. I'll show you what I've done. I've updated the index, client index.js. So it now does claim back for the rate back every 500,000 bets. So there's the countdown. That's if it's not simulation. Okay, and I've changed the code to version 2. I've commented out for the moment these lines here, the recovery part, because it's trying to pick that up from every client, and they may well be different. So we're going to test it on this one account, and there's further changes I want to show you coming up. So we're going to pause this one account, so it automatically puts everything in the vault back into balance. Now if we can it's paused by default. So we're running a game. Now theoretically we can test this. Like for example, I could tip across 20 to that account. Bear with me. I've just issued a command for this account to send its vault to that account. Now if all going well, it should automatically put that in the vault. So it's got 40, and it has. And it should be 20 plus the profit, 20.04. It's absolutely to the 8th decimal place, guys. So this will work a dream. The beauty of putting all of these commands into a text file now is with the little tool that I've got multi-party manager, so I can just double click on all of the clients here, and I can do 10 at a time very rapidly, copy and paste these commands into them to switch over to the new version of the code. Just literally copy and paste these commands that I've done here. Now, before we do that, like I say, today is Wednesday, and where I'm targeting for now is, I'm hoping by the time I do the weekly next week, yeah, if I want to take it to the next level, guys. So I'm thinking I want to get mine to 40. I'm hoping we'll be able to do this at the weekend. Yeah, I need a balance of, yeah, if we got a start balance of 40, we've got 100, that's wrong there, that's 165. Yeah, first recovery pot of 1,800, secondary recovery pot of 13,400, which means I need a start balance of 21,800. I should easily do that by the weekend. Yeah, my goal is to get that to 60. Yeah, I ain't good. Be honest with you guys, I have not made a deposit in such a long time. Honestly, yeah, I wonder when they're going to pick up on that. Yeah, this is all self-funded through self-perpetual profits through this. But I've got a lot of work to do. I will keep you posted during the week. I don't know if this will be part of this video or it will be part of another video, but I won't really know until the week progresses out. On today's the 24th, obviously this rolled out now because obviously we're seeing issues operationally. I want these rolled out to fix these issues here, but come the weekend I won't have to stop the bots to collect the weekly, which should be great. And come the first, you usually get the pre-monthly, and the pre-monthly typically gives between like a 3 or 5 day reload. So then I just use my little virtual machine to collect those, and if I haven't got to stop the bot again for those as well, it's all free money, guys, and you should definitely take full advantage of all the free money and the VIP perks that they throw at you. I'm going to update this, and I'll keep you posted. If anything weird happens, I'll bring you back, but expect to hear back from me either towards the weekend or I've got an update on the API server. Right, I'll speak to you soon. Guys, it's BT Scambler here. Listen, 26 of the 4th. Just had an email notification that post-monthly's come out, so I've got things that I want to talk to you about, but I'll talk to you about them afterwards. But yeah, the post-monthly is good for this type of strategy. So I don't know how much that's going to make, but it usually gives me a 3, sometimes 5 days reload. So I've got the machine open here. I'll just connect on VPN. Reset the profit. Okay. Let me collect these and yeah, I'll bring you back. Let's do the first couple. The shipment reload. Be interesting to see what it's going to give per account actually. And how long, you know, let's see the expiry date as well. This is all free money, guys. All free money. Hey, not bad. Let's see when it expires. Okay, so it's lasting to the 28th. 3 day reload. Right. I'll do this and I'll bring you back. Okay, that's done. Let's see how much profit that made. 203. Not bad, guys. Not bad. I'm going to keep that there. Yeah, we've got that 3 days now. Albeit some of the accounts I got a full bonus rather than a 3 day reload. But then tomorrow we got weekly as well. So I'm going to keep this bonus accumulating here. But it is my bedtime now, guys. I'm going to catch up with you tomorrow because I'm going to talk about some of the changes I've made. And I will speak to you again very soon. Okay, guys, it's the next day. So I've had a sleep. Bloody post-monthly came out 2 o'clock in the morning for me. Anyway, I noticed at 2 in the morning and I stayed up and collected them all. It paid out 206, well, I think it's 203 actually. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute because that shouldn't have gone up. But we'll cover that. But there were some improvements that I wanted to cover. Yeah, we're almost like at a critical point right now. So there's a couple of things I want to show you. Some improvements that I've made to the code since the last time we've done this. We're now on version 3, which I haven't published yet, but by the time this video goes live, this will be committed up on GitHub. So we're now on version 3 of the dual game. So there's 2 critical changes, but there's going to be 3 critical changes that I want to bring to your attention. So the first one is on version 3 of the game, I've adjusted it so that rather than, I have to say selfishly, because when I tend to code selfishly, and I apologize for that, guys. Somebody tried playing this using Tether and it wasn't so easy to work out. And technically this should be completely agnostic to the cryptocurrency you're using. So rather than me saying leave behind at the start of the bot to leave behind exactly 20 TRX, what it's now doing is picking up from the client config whatever you've got set as the recovery threshold. And for me, if you look under the client config, which is over here, I've got mine set up as TRX and the recovery threshold is 20. Now if you was playing a different currency, now if you work out 20 TRX, that's just over $2. So let me bring up a wallet, for example. If I said send $2, right, let's do it the other way around. Do it to 20 TRX is $2.38. So if you was doing a like-for-like currency and a different currency, that's the sort of start balance that you're looking to put on each account. So it should be really easy to do that. So if you was working in Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever, your XRP, providing you set up your, that's what you set your recovery threshold in. So the line of the code here will leave behind, will start off as that would be your start balance. So this is now agnostic to whatever currency that you want to use. So I'm using TRX, but it could be technically any currency from this point onwards. So that's the first change. The second change is I've got it set to automatically collect the rate back. That is proven to be problematic because think about this. If it automatically collects the rate back, and if there is a check to say, you know, if the balance is more than 1 TRX or 11 times the base bet, no, it's 230, I believe. Let me just double check the code. In the code, this line here, so if you get a win on stage 1 and the balance is greater than the start balance plus the base bet times 260, it dumps everything in your balance and leaves behind your start balance and the profit. So it's clean. But if it's below that, and sometimes if it takes a reload, sometimes if it takes a rate back a little bit too early, that rate back could be less than that amount and it can still remain in the balance. And it seems every time you restart the client, it bloody collects the rate back, which is throwing things out. So it's quite common to restart the client for various reasons. And if that isn't enough, so you can end up with situations where you got a balance. Let's see if I can find one. I'm hoping to find a 41. So particularly ones that are negative. I think I've cleaned most of them up and I've had to clean them up manually. Unfortunately, I've been too diligent and I've actually cleaned them all up. What we had is a scenario where it was reporting that it was the negative profit, but the balance was above a 20. So what will happen there is that can really throw out the schematics of the game, because stage 2, it gets measuring the profit. And if they started off in a more excessive, negative scenario, depending on how much was in the start balance, then it could end up spending much longer at stage 2 and introduce a much greater risk. And it will forever perpetually be like that. So that's the next change. So this whole section around claimback is now being commented out to prevent that. This game, for this particular game, and this strategy, is better to be playing the rate back manually rather than automating it. For the exact reason I said, it can really throw out the schematics and the numbers here. I mean, that's no big deal because I could do that during the weekly collection. Right, and the final change, which we're going to talk into a lot more detail now, is I've made a further change in here where if you look at each of the accounts, it's telling you when it highlights green accounts that are less than 1% through the progression rate, and they're there to remind you, to notify you that you need to go log into that account to collect the bonus upgrade. So when they're less than 1%, they will be green. But I've also added a new check in there, and a new check is if they're 90% or more towards reaching the next level. I've highlighted those, and the reason I wanted to show you those, as I've said in previous videos, when you're at 90% or more, no matter which VIP level you're at, you can go away and wager that up to the next level at basically no cost, because what you get back in rewards will cover the cost of getting to that next level. And I'm going to show you, and we're going to do these 2 accounts, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to use DiceBot to wager at 99.9%, a 99% win chance, and I've got a little calculator that does that. I'm going to try to recoup the losses. We're using poker, but you don't really need to. It depends on how much it pays back out. But the idea is because we're going to take these 2 accounts here, we're going to take them up to the next VIP level, and we're going to cover that next. And one final thing before we do go, which is going to be very interesting, looking at the statistics on the current setup. It's paying out more than I expected. So this is a snapshot in time. So the weekly will be due, from my perspective, in roughly 18 hours from now. And it's weighted 457, so more than I imagined actually. So I think we're pretty darn close. I said I think we need a start balance of 60, but I think we can get away with a start balance of 40, just about. Now, I've done the maths behind all of that. Now I need a start balance. If I said each balance had a 40 start balance, and we've got 165 accounts, I've worked out the recovery pot needs to be 1,800 and the secondary recovery pot should be 13,400 to give us the same level of protection that we're running at the moment. I'm very nearly there, so certainly by the time I do the next reload, and certainly by tomorrow because we've got weekly as well, I'll be over that limit. And I say tomorrow I would expect to change everything over to be moved up to 40. And if we can start off at 40, and then I think that probably will be it. I mean, it's so darn close. I think we may just about make it. The idea being is we want to get to a weekly wage of $1,000 per account per month, which means I'll have 165 tickets in the weekly prize draw. And I think that's kind of like the cut-off point from the casino's perspective, in terms of maximising what you get back on a weekly basis and monthly. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things pay out from here. So this would double the amount of wagering. So we've got these two accounts here that are above 90%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them, I'll do one at a time. Okay, I'm going to get them prepared. I'll bring you back. But before I do that, I'll just show you the spreadsheet that I've got. So if we take this account here, for example, it's on bronze level and it's at 90.75% of the way through to silver. So I've got this spreadsheet I want to show you. You've probably seen it. But here you put down where you currently are, what level, and put your current completion 90.75%. That means I've got 3,700 to wager to get to the next level. This is how much I know I need to calculate how much to wager. So let me get it all ready and I will bring you back. So I've got it up and running. I've got DiceBot running. Just using basic standard DiceBot here. I need to wager 3,700. I put in one of the recovery pots over to that account and I'm just going to leave it running. It's going to take some time. 3,700 in TRX is about 31,000. So if we look at the wallet here, just 30,000 on it, so 31,000. So I know that when I've reached 31,000, obviously I expect to lose some. I'm hoping that will be recovered from what we get back. So let me leave this running and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I'm just bringing you back because we're almost at 31,000 TRX. There we go. We're going to pause this. I have to say it's cost more than I expected. So this is the count here. It hasn't quite registered yet that it's gone to silver. So I'm going to withdraw whatever's in the vault. It's not much. That should go to 0. It has. Right, I'm going to bring up that account, check the VIP. And it has gone to silver. Just checking. So we have wagered the 3,700 as required. Now we wait for support to come through. Okay, that worked out then, guys. So that actually worked out. Let's go back to DiceBot. It cost 357 TRX. Was at 90.75% of the way to the next VIP level. And if we go back, and I emptied out the vault. And here's the account here. This hasn't catched up yet. And we got 459, so we actually gained money. So at no cost, we up to the next VIP level. And I can't emphasize enough how important that is, because that will dramatically impact how much you get on a weekly basis. So whenever an opportunity comes along, it doesn't matter which VIP level you're at, as long as you're 90% of the way there, just go for it. I mean, like, literally there is no risk. This code is running dice, 99% win chance, 8.5 TRX, which is basically $1. Just doing that and just leave it running until it completes. I could have gone in higher, but I believe statistically this is going to average out on a $1 bet. If you went in higher, I think you're taking on greater risks. So it took roughly, if we look at the runtime, took an hour and 25 minutes apparently. It didn't feel like it took that long anyway. It doesn't matter. I just left it running there. Wagered 3,700 at no cost. So I may as well do the other one. I don't think that's correct, because my whole video is less than that. I'm going to restart this DiceBot. Well, I'm going to restart this client here, and when it's done, I'm going to tip the vault to the other account. That's this one here. This one is at 90.15. So bear with me. Okay, I've got the account open here. So there we are down the bottom there. So it's at bronze level, 91.56 it says. If we just double check that, VIP 91.56, and if we open up the spreadsheet, so $3,376 required. So $3,376 in TRX is 28,217. 28,250. So I've got it all set up here ready to go, and as we'll see, there's nothing in the vault in this account. I've withdrawn it vault and I put it all in the balance. So now we need 28,250. So here's the wagered amount, 28,250. I'll bring you back when it's done. Guys, I'm back. I got so bored I just left it running. I don't know what's going on with Stake at the moment, but it's excruciatingly slow. That took 2 hours, but I've wagered too much actually. So I needed 28,000, I've wagered 35,000. Okay guys, I'm not wasting any more time on that. So that basically met its objective. It demonstrates to you fully, even though we went way over on that one, that any account that's 90% or more towards its next VIP level, you've got no reason not to go for it, because you will get back more than you bought. Well, at the very least you get back. If you do run dice at 99% win chance and just let it wager through to the next level, you know, and the benefit of this is obvious because you get an increased amount on the weekly. It doesn't matter which VIP level you're at, that is truth will hold the main. So the next time I get the next one closer to 90% VIP, I will show you again. So we just went from bronze to silver. So bronze they give you about $25, and usually $3 as 3 gameplays, that's $28. Next level they will give you $50, and then it's $100 when you get to gold, and then it's $250, and yeah, it sort of doubles from there onwards. So keep an eye out for the green. So we've got a green. Where's? See, now it's registered that. So that's telling me that's green, 0.1%. that will stay there until it gets about 1%. I've already collected the money from this particular account because we did that one earlier. But it now knows that we're at silver. Right, you'll next get an update from me probably Sunday. So we've got another, and I won't reset the profit, so you can see how much exactly been made this particular week. So we made $320 last week, $320 last week on the reloads, on the weekly bonuses, and then we got a 3-day reload. The first reload, which is the post-monthly, paid out $221, well, just about $203. I'm not going to reset the profit, and I've got to collect that again in a number of hours' time. And then we've also got the weekly coming out tomorrow, and then we've got one final day left for the reload, so we'll probably catch it back then, so you can see exactly how much has been made this week. And that's purely on the basis of not winning but not losing either, just pure wagering. When this is all running, this profit stays around about zero all the time, and you're just wagering as much, at lowest risk. Anyway, right, I'm going to end this part here, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Right, let's collect the weekly, guys. So the way I do it, as you've probably seen from previous videos, I've got this virtual machine that's running Windows 10. It's got PIA, so VPN, connected to Berlin. And then I've got every profile defined already I've got every account's got a profile in Chrome. So really all I need to do is, I know you can open quite comfortably, depending on the specification, 20 browser sessions at the same time. It's an odd one because if you don't have one window open, it opens them all one after the other. But if you've got one window open, it will open all 20 at the same time. So I'm just going to replace the current bonus, which is the reload, which I will have to put back later, and just run through them all one by one. Sometimes this machine just crashes and I have to restart it. I'm not sure reasons why, but it is what it is. But I am going to claim the rate back as well. 7.99. Yeah, the reload. I've got one more reload left in 9 hours. Okay, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, so that was a bit of a battle. Trying to collect the weekly was quite painful this week. Got there in the end and it paid out $345. So combined so far this week now it's $641 profit from not winning, not losing, just wagering. So that ain't bad, and that has actually given me enough to put this up to the next level. I've done one account already and I've just been running some tests on that, and that all looks good. And I've got one more reload to play, so this video will conclude once I've got the full figures what this week's profit will be. And that's really where we are now. Is I need to change every account over to switch to the new version, what I've done, I've pushed out the changes and I've done a real cleanup because there were loads and loads of old scripts under the client, and the only one that's on there now is this one that I'm running. And as I said, I've taken out the automatic rate back claim. As you can see, I've commented out completely the rate back function here. So you have to do it manually now. And all the codes that were in there are going to be put in Discord. So don't worry, nothing's been lost. It keeps it a lot cleaner. Well, I've got a lot of work to do now. So I will bring you back once I've completed the very last reload. And then that will give me a true figure of exactly how much this strategy made this week. Bear in mind, last week it made, I think it was 320. Yeah, it's not exciting money, guys, but it's okay. It's better than losing. That's all I can say. Right, I'll speak to you all again very soon. Okay, guys, so quite a bit of time has passed. I haven't played Alphaverse for the last 24 hours. So I've done it took me quite a while. I've reset everything. I've gone up to the next level. If we open up the Excel spreadsheet, we're now starting with a balance of 40 TRX per account. I know I've double checked it all, and the maths is to the 8th decimal place correct on the betting. So the base bet now has gone up, it's basically doubled. And we've increased the recovery pot to 1,800, and I said the secondary recovery pot is 14,400, which is a combination of 8 of those basically. So I needed 22,800 to start this. So we're there. So what I've done, I've reset every single account. They've all been done. I've got 1,800 as a recovery pot, and I've got 14,000 put there. So over the last couple of days, so the bit that's important to you guys is, so it made 5,956 TRX during the week, and that was with post-monthly and the weekly collected. So I've just restarted the server. So I'm going to tip this balance over to my account. I'm going to reset the profit. Now this is brand new, and I'm going to kick them all off. I don't like doing this because they're all starting at level 2, so we expect to see a few crashes here. But I'm kicking off anyway, and I have no idea what the speed the gambling is going to be at, because yeah, the last time I played stake it was diabolically slow. I'm going to leave this running for a period of time. So the bit we're interested in is the wager amount. So what I'm really hoping is that this would wager $1,000 a week per account. Now obviously I've completely lost a day, so that may throw it out for this week, but we get a good indication. So I'll leave this running, and I'll bring you back. coming up to 3 hours. So yeah, look at that. Right, I want to come back because I want to measure these numbers. It's almost 3 hours. What we're really interested in is how much is it wagered in the dollar amount over the last 3 hours. So we got 5654. 5654. Let's open that up in Excel. Let's just put these numbers in here. That's way over. We're looking to get to 1,000. Now, these figures may well be misleading because of the simple fact is, I mean, that's incredible, guys. That is absolutely incredible. But what's happened to stake? It's got back to normal. Look at we're betting it. So that's 1,737,550 bets an hour. So 1.7 million bets an hour. And look at each botch in isolation, and now right back to where they're meant to be. 10,000 bets per hour. I'm gonna have a scroll down. So I've left this completely unattended for 3 hours. No interestingly there, we've got a recovery pot there, but it's not picked it up as being a recovery pot, and we got a few of them. Okay, that may well be a problem. At the moment, it's not going to think any recovery pots now. I might just need to tip a little bit across to those accounts. Yeah, so they get recognised as having a recovery pot. Yeah, I saw this before. I think what it is, guys, because this gets stored actually on the back end of the stake of in 16 decimal places, we're only showing 8, so it's rounded it up. This is probably 1,799.9999999999999. So it probably isn't. It's been rounded up, so it seems like it needed a little bit in the vault to prevent these sorts of things from happening. So if I just I'm going to send sort of like 3 TRX to each of those so they get recognised. Bear with me and I'll bring you back. Yeah. Right, I'm going to have to do that to all of those. This is going to be annoying. That's annoying. That is annoying. However, I have to say I'm very pleased with the performance. Whatever problem stake had seems to be resolved. If we can sustain this. So I'm going to send away 3 TRX to every account, so that it's got something in the vault to prevent this from happening. And the question is, where do we go from here? Because this fundamentally concludes this video, but this journey is going to continue, because we're not going to know how effective this is going to be until we come next weekend. And I'm very keen to get this video closed so we can then look at a new chapter, because there are things, I've got videos that I put on hold and to do this. Yeah, and one of the videos that I want to put together, and I have been working on, is a complete brand new end-to-end build guide so that you can build this yourself. And realistically, what that video really is, truthfully, hand on heart, that this video is going to be, it's about me teaching you everything I know about, gambling on a casino. I'm going to give away all my knowledge. It's going to go in that video. So yeah, look out for that one. It's going to take me some time. Give me patience on that one, because I do want to get it right. As we can see, that runs very well. We must have a bus going on here, or do we not? Yeah, straight away. So I think I timed that just right, guys. I went out for a number of hours. I spend a long time away from keyboard, guys. This pretty much does run itself. You saw for yourself, 3 hours non-stop running. It's like no interaction was required, nothing to intervene, but clearly I do. So I've got, lots of tips to send. I'm going to make my way through these. Leave that with me. I hope you found this useful, and please, guys, comments, feedback, I beg you, please, if you like this type of content, you need to let me know. Okay, guys, just saying that to you. It's all I ask. It's just feedback. Anyway, this is a video that's been like a week in the making. So yeah, I'm going to end it here, and I will speak to you all again very, very soon.